And we are joined now by the captain of the Sale Sharks, proudly sporting his Man of the Match medal and proudly sporting a win, your first win of the season. Now, Jono, how much about today was restoring pride after what happened at the Stoop?
Yeah, I think pretty much the whole week, that's what we spoke about. We felt we really let ourselves down last week. We didn't bring the usual attitude, the die-hard that we bring to this club and that this club is known for. We're not always the most talented bunch, but we back ourselves to work hard. So Tuesday in the dressing room was really disappointing. I think it's the first time since I've been here that the word attitude ever got used. So, you know, that effort just before half-time, the 5 minutes, was probably one of the best defensive efforts I've ever been a part of. So I'm really proud. But again, we got a lot to work on. We let them back into the game. We gave them a chance to possibly win the game. So we know we've got a lot to work on against a good team next week.
So psychologically, Jono, you go out 18-0. Got a lovely lead, you're at home. We saw Gloucester establish a 21-0 lead down at the Rec, and you sort of do your best to throw it away. What is it psychologically that happens to you when you go that far ahead? Why is it so difficult to sustain that?
I'm not sure really. You know, there was a real energy going into the change room at half time and a real emphasis on making it back to 0-0 and starting again. You know, you've got to sometimes give credit to the opposition. I think Worcester are a good team, they've got good players, and they came out fighting in that second half. So you've got to sometimes maybe look at the opposition, but we'll go back, look at ourselves, see where we can improve. It just seemed we couldn't really hold on to the ball in the second half. When we do hold on to the ball, we seem to score points, but in the second half we struggled to hold on to the ball for one or other reason. So we've got to go and look at it and work hard again.
Those defensive sets, sorry Marco, that before half-time, it's the best part of 40 phases Worcester have got the ball and you guys are just banging them and banging them and banging them. And you mentioned it's a big boost for you guys, but we always imagine on the sidelines, we pundits, it's a massive boost for you and a massive kick in the guts for them. Is that how it feels when you run in at half-time?
Yeah, I think that's how it felt, but it didn't seem to show. We came out and conceded almost 3 tries on the bounce. So yeah, it was a massive boost then. Hopefully it didn't, we sort of felt like we won the game when we ran off there at half-time. So, you know, I think we've got to learn to reset a bit better. It was a bit like that last week. Although we were poor in the first half, we're still well within the game. We can't afford to let sides into the game just after half-time. You know, those are big periods just before and just after, but that effort before half-time was massive, and hopefully we can carry that through the season.
The way this works, John, is we fight for your attention, we battle for your attention, battle to ask you questions. You've won so far, it's 2-1. But where are you setting your sights this season? I mean, are you thinking top 6 bare minimum?
Mate, to be honest, we haven't sat down, we haven't spoken about too much into the future. It was Harlequins, it was Worcester, and now it's Exeter. You know, we don't want to look too far ahead. We know that, as I said, we're not the most talented bunch of group, you know, but we will fight hard for every point and we'll fight hard to get results. So we'll look to Exeter. They're a fantastic team, probably the form team of the Premiership over the last couple of years. So we know the challenge going down to Sandy Park, but we'll be up for it. And like I said, we've got a lot to improve on after today. So we'll look at Exeter next week.
You're a pretty talented bunch, you don't mind me saying. But also, I've just got to tell you one other thing, a secret that Flats and I share. He's got a bit of a man crush on you.
No, it's not
now,
true.
does that make you feel a bit awkward?
Mate, with his fashion sense, I don't mind.
No, thank you. Firstly, thank you. Secondly, it's not a man crush. I see a lot of sort of aesthetic similarities between the two of us.
Big around the belly.
Big, no, we're both big but lean and naturally classically handsome. Anyway, carry on. Just carry on.
I think you probably want to leave at this stage, but thanks for joining us. That's great. Great stuff. No, he feels very awkward.
Enjoy your shower. See you in a minute.
Move on.